Hello and welcome to Book Lovers Unite. You know, if you're a parent, you've probably been there. You're in the middle of a tantrum, a meltdown, a sibling squabble, and you just look at your child and think, right? If that question sounds familiar, you are so not alone. Well, today we're going to dive into a book that gives you a real framework, a real answer to that question based on how a child's brain is actually wired. And that's the whole promise here. The idea is to move beyond just surviving the day-to-day chaos of parenthood and actually start creating an environment where your entire family can truly thrive. The book we're talking about today is The Whole Brain Child by Dr. Daniel Siegel and Dr. Payne Bryson. And what makes this book so incredible, so revolutionary, is that it perfectly bridges the gap between complicated neuroscience and the messy, beautiful, real-world experience of raising kids. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the brain, if you're already thinking, yes, I am tired of yelling, go ahead and hit that like button. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on more of these summaries. Okay, let's get into it. So, the entire foundation of this book rests on one simple but super powerful metaphor. A child's brain is like a house that's still under construction. Seriously, the wiring isn't finished, the second floor isn't built yet, it's a work in progress. And the key concept here is what the authors call integration. Integration is just a fancy word for getting all the different parts of the brain to work together as a team. When a child's brain is integrated, they're calm, they're rational. When it's not integrated, well, that's when you get chaos. To make this really easy to grasp, the authors split the brain in two key ways. First, there's the horizontal split, between the logical left brain and the emotional right brain. And second, there's a vertical split between the sophisticated upstairs brain and the primitive downstairs brain. We're going to start with left and right. This brings us to the very first super practical strategy from the book. It's all about handling that epic battle between logic and raw emotion. It's called connect and redirect. Let's use an example we can all relate to. Your child is having a full-blown, world-ending meltdown over the shape of their toast. Now your logical left brain is just screaming, "It's just toast, it all tastes the same." But the authors say that's the absolute worst thing you can do. Why? Because your child is literally drowning in a right brain emotional flood. Logic cannot get through. So here's the crucial two-step process. First, you have to connect with their emotional right brain. You get down on their level, use a soft voice, maybe offer a hug, and you validate the feeling. I hear you. You are so sad and disappointed about the toast. Then, and this is key, only after they've started to calm down can you redirect with the left brain, bringing in solutions and logic. You have to connect before you correct. Okay, another fantastic strategy for integrating the left and right brain is called Name It to Tame It. This one is an absolute lifesaver when your child is just overwhelmed by a big, scary feeling, maybe after a fall at the playground or a spooky dream. So instead of just dismissing their fear by saying, "You're fine, shake it off," the book suggests you encourage your child to tell the story of what happened. When they do this, they're using their logical left brain, the storyteller, to make sense of the chaotic, scary emotions coming from their right brain. And this process literally helps calm down the brain's fear center. It's amazing. Okay, let's move on from the horizontal split to the vertical one, the upstairs versus the downstairs brain. And this concept, you guys, is absolutely key for understanding and managing those epic, full-blown tantrums. So think of it this way. The downstairs brain is our primitive, reptilian brain. It handles the basics, breathing, blinking, and that all-important fight or flight response. It's totally good to go from the moment we're born. The upstairs brain, though, that's the sophisticated, thinking part. It handles things like planning, empathy, and self-control. And here's the kicker. It is under construction until our mid-20s. So when a child is having a major tantrum, their sophisticated upstairs brain has basically gone offline. They've flipped their lid, as the authors say. They are operating purely from that primitive downstairs brain. So if you respond by yelling threats like, "Stop it or you're in big trouble," you're just feeding the reptile. You are enraging them, not engaging them, and it makes everything worse. So the real question becomes, how do we get that thinking, reasonable brain to come back online? Well, you have to appeal to it. You have to invite it to the party. So instead of making demands, you ask questions that require some thought. Things like, this is a really big problem. I wonder how we can fix this together. That's an open invitation for their upstairs brain to get back to work. The book offers one more really elegant metaphor to help us parents visualize our role, and it's called the river of well-being. This tool is amazing because it helps you reframe your child's behavior so you don't take it so personally. Okay, imagine that a healthy, balanced life is like floating peacefully right down the middle of a river. On one side, you've got the bank of chaos. That's the screaming, the emotional floods, the total loss of control. On the other side is the bank of rigidity. That's the stubbornness, the refusal to cooperate, the no to everything. When your child crashes into one of those banks, your job isn't to get mad at them. Your job is to gently help steer them back to the middle. It changes everything. They aren't being bad, they just need help navigating. So, when you put all of this together, what is the final, ultimate takeaway from this whole framework? It's a really fundamental, profound shift in your perspective on the entire parent-child relationship. And here it is. This is the heart of it all. The book begs us to stop seeing our children's difficult behaviors as manipulative or naughty and start seeing them for what they really are, the actions of a person whose brain is still developing. Their hardware just isn't fully installed yet. Our job is to lend them our calm, developed upstairs brain until theirs is finished. So for my final verdict, this book is an absolute 5 out of 5. The strategies in The Whole Brain Child are practical, they are backed by science, and they are truly essential for any parent, teacher, anyone who cares for a child. It's not really a rule book, it's more like a first aid kit for navigating the messy world of emotions. And that's our look at the core ideas from The Whole Brain Child. If you found this breakdown valuable, please share it with another parent who could use it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Book Lovers Unite, for more deep dives into books that can really make a difference. And to leave you with one final thought, thinking about that river of well-being, which bank is more challenging for you to navigate in your own life? The bank of chaos or the bank of rigidity? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.